Welcome to another episode of the Dibbly Dobblers Cricket Podcast. As always, I am your main host, Callum, and as always, I am joined by producer, director, dinner lady, shoe shiner.
Definitely not an opening bat.
Not an opening bat. Andrew.
You alright? Yeah, I'm not bad. How are you?
Fine. I'm doing alright. I mean, we lost a game of cricket tonight. I'm not very happy about that.
Indeed, yes.
So, and
I scored 2 runs at an average of 1 in the same game.
I know, you did a fine job. I have no idea how many runs I scored. But I scored enough runs on Saturday, so didn't take me long, did it?
Yeah.
I'm still tired now.
So, what was it, 64 last week and 75 this week? So, yeah.
And 2 wickets last week and 3 wickets this week. So, it's going to be 86 and a 4 for this Saturday, you know.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Would be
a 5
lovely.
for would be nice.
Yeah.
Stop taking 4 fours. That would be, that'd be good.
Just 2 for me, but...
Well, you know, got to start somewhere, Andrew.
2 wickets is nice.
Opening the bowling as well.
I did. I felt I opened the bowling better than you this week.
I mean, I was dying. Physically felt like death running in.
Yeah, I genuinely thought I was the better of the opening pair.
It wasn't hard.
And you still ended up with better figures than me. Absolutely spewing.
Well, you know, class shines through eventually, Andrew. Class shines through. That's all I can say. But so we had a good victory the weekend, though.
We did. We needed that because we were starting to look a bit squeaky bum time, wasn't it?
Do you know what would be excellent though? Is if Falkland bothered to put up the scorecard from the week before. That'd be absolutely wonderful. So for those people from Falkland watching, whoever does the scorecards for your twos, get it up. Bradalbin, Falkland. I want my stats there.
Not that it's all about you or anything.
Well, I mean,
that game actually, the batting pretty much was.
based on Saturday, you know.
Yeah. Right. What
But
doing
anyway,
this week?
we should talk about a better standard of cricket than what we play.
We should indeed. So, well, we've mentioned Falkland there. Let's start with them.
Falkland, absolutely terrific win for Falkland against Grange, who I actually looked at the lineup and thought, they've got they had Preston Momsen back in their side, who hasn't played for a while. Still, guys, I think Chris Greaves was missing.
The Scotland guys were missing.
Dylan Budge, I think, is still injured, so they were still missing some key guys. But Falkland turned them over.
Yeah, indeed. So, they bowled Grange out for 223 in 47 overs and a delivery, and they chased it down with 1.2 overs to spare.
Really, thanks to Harsha.
Yeah, so Harsha got, and I'll just get to that on my screen.
61 not out.
61 not out from 76 balls, so moved it along at a nice rate throughout.
Yeah, Castle's got a 5 for, or Castle got a 5 for, and Lyle.
He picked up 3.
Took 3 and bowled very tidily. So
Yeah,
an impressive and a big win as well on the back of the defeat to Arbroath last week. Arbroath were kind of just catching up with them a wee bit, and that's not a victory they probably expected in reality.
Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned last week when we were speaking to the boys at Falkland after our game there a week past Saturday, they did say they expected that they would win again this season. I'm not sure anyone would have expected it to come against Grange.
Although they ran them very close, as we mentioned. In
They
the
did,
previous
to be
fixture,
fair.
And that
They
was
did,
at
actually.
Grange, so they had sort of a bit
So
of
yeah,
home
maybe
advantage.
they did.
So, but no, I think Jack Henderson also scored, I think, 44 at the top of the order. And they just had a few starts in there. And
I mean, they got off to a good start, so they were at 83 by when the first wicket fell. Got off to a solid start, and then had a bit of a wobble there because it was 83 for 1, went to 89 for 83 for no loss, went to 89 for 3. But then, Harsha and Castle put on a bit of a partnership, and they just kind of went from there.
Yeah, and I think it shows that's the advantage to bringing in experience like Harsha. Harsha obviously does a lot for their club off the field, but you know, when you bring in an overseas player, I'm sure he used his experience and his guile to kind of steer that. Because actually, if you look at it, they put on, was it about 30 or something in the last two? They actually had a bit of work to do based on what the run rate was at, and really timed that to perfection. The last 2 overs were very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, Devon May got 28 off 26 balls. He battered me about the park at Breadalbin at the start of the season when he was in their twos.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's had any massive scores, but he's had a few scores like that for their ones. I think perhaps shouldn't have been in their twos.
Yeah.
But, so it's not a name actually I recognise. So I don't know if I'm assuming he might be a new guy to the club. But so congratulations to Falkland, obviously on that victory. Shall we go over to the next game with the SPCU team? Was unfortunately defeat for Stonywood Dice.
Indeed, and I've flipped between the 2 cards on Cricket Scotland Live too many times, so
you're now confused. Well,
it's taken forever for me to get back to the matches menu so that I can open
Watsonians made 205 for 9 off 41 overs, so a rain affected game.
Yeah.
And Dupree's standard took a 4 for 32. I would imagine Stonywood probably were fancying their chances. Ollie Hare's got 65 for Watsonians, but really they lost by 37 runs. But there was Ewan Davidson and Andrew McLaren Davidson got 75, McLaren got 35, and that was really it for Stonywood.
It was a bit the Ollie Hare show, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because 65, and then he took 5 for 28 from his 7 overs.
Aye, poor day.
Yeah, must do better.
I mean, how does he expect to keep his place in the Scotland squad with performances like that?
So.
Yeah. So the run continues for Stonywood, and we kind of mentioned this last week. I think they were kind of fortunate to get those 4 early wins in.
Kind of been 4
they
early
were at the
wins
top of the table at one point.
They were.
Those days probably seem like long ago now.
Indeed. And then an all SPCU clash, the big game in the region, as it always is, Forfarshire against Arbroath at Fort Hill. Arbroath 158 all out, and Forfarshire 159 for nothing as they chased that down in 16 overs.
A tightly run affair.
Yeah.
Yes, Craig Wallace absolutely battered them.
109 off 50 balls.
50 balls. Yeah, it was, yes, very one-sided.
Quite a lot of extras in that, actually. Is that 4 byes, 10 wides?
I mean, when your first over goes for 32, you're probably not thinking it's your day.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
and the thing is, we touched on it before when we kind of touched on Arbroath's woes, I think they lack... It's not like they've scored tons of runs, but they really do just seem to be lacking in that strike bowling department.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their scorecard, so 158 all out, McLean 23, Lube 31, Petrie 63.
Which that's back-to-back 50s for Petrie, so
Yeah.
he is finding a bit of form. But
all other 8 batters out in single figures.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, they'll be needing to find 2 more victories now in reality to stand a chance.
And I don't think they've got quite a tough run in as well.
Well, shall we have a look at what?
And not mentioned a fifer in that game for Jack Hogarth
as
well.
There was. Bit of an
So
expensive fifer, though, I did think.
5 for 59.
Off 7.5.
Yeah, it's a leg spinner's fifer, that, isn't it?
Filth and jaffs all rolled into one. So do we want to have a look at what that does to the EPL table?
Well, we can do that, actually, yes. That would be a good suggestion. So let's bring that up. Heriot's still leading the way. Forfarshire, a couple of wins behind them. So a bit of a gap to close there still. Bottom end is the bottom 3 places occupied by SPCU sides. Falkland are only 8 points behind Stonywood Dice.
Yeah. I mean, I currently reckon if Arbroath got enough points to stay up, I actually think Stonywood Dice
will be the ones that get down.
That get relegated.
Yeah.
Would be the team that get relegated. you still have to fancy it's going to be Arbroath, but there are games to play. There are there are 4 rounds of games left. I don't know off the top of my head who Arbroath have got, but they're going to have to scrape some victories together. But I just don't see Falkland not getting at least bonus points.
Yeah, I guess looking at that table, points work the same, isn't it? It's 25 points for a win.
Yes, they've gone back. They've gone to that system because for a while it was 10 points.
Right. Yeah. So if you add 50 onto Arbroath, say, and they get to 4 wins, the same as Stonywood, they still have a gap of 12 points.
Yeah.
So I think it is a real in 4 games to make up that sort of gap. That is realistically, Arbroath need to win 3 of the last 4.
Yeah. It's not looking great for Arbroath, but stranger things have happened in sport. And time will tell.
Indeed.
So on to the NEC.
Yeah, NEC. So what happened on Saturday there? So Meagle comfortably beat Stonywood Dice second 11, 323 all out from their 45 overs.
They timed that to perfection.
Yeah, literally the last wicket fell on the last ball.
Majid Rashid with 115.
100, yeah.
Which is a fair effort.
And then he knocked out the top 3 in the reply as well.
Yeah.
For Stonywood Dice.
So again, if he could do better as well, that would be great.
So they were bowled out for 187 from 44.4. So with only 2 deliveries left. So it was pretty much a full game for them.
I bet that was one of those games where it's like, right. Well, depending on which side you're on, you're like, right, we've won or we've lost, and you're like, well, can we just finish this?
Well, it's Stonywood looking for the bonus points, I suppose.
Batsman, can you just leave it on the stumps, please? Thank you. But shout out to young 16-year-old, I think, Fred Kelly, who opened the batting. Good to see Meagle giving a youngster a chance as well. But, so well done to him, because well, you didn't face him, but he's been playing mainly in our division and Division 1 this year, so probably a good game for them to give.
They used 10 bowlers in that.
I know.
As well.
So
I guess maybe preserving themselves a bit for Sunday as well. Which we'll get on to shortly.
That probably is part of the reason it went as far as it did, to be fair. So, Fruki, Kinloch. That was...
Wow, I didn't... Oh,
well, you did.
Did I see that one coming?
You did.
Maybe I did. 224 all out for Fruki, and Kinloch got there with 5 wickets in hand and 3 and a bit overs left.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard at half time it was 224 is what Fruki scored, I thought that's probably enough. And it absolutely wasn't. To be fair, a very, very impressive batting display by Shazad Ahmed, because I mean he got a ton in 74 balls. So I mean,
and batting at 6, was it?
Yeah. So I mean, to be fair, at one point, Kinloch were in trouble.
Yeah. Well, they were 118 for 5.
Yeah. So I mean,
and I think I checked in on it about then and thought, that's not great for my predictions. But that last stand between Ahmed and I'll get his full name, Mohsin Ali, who 37 off 38.
I think when I saw the 224, Kinloch kind of been one of these teams this year that they've had guys that have made 40s, and they've kind of had guys making starts or like good scores, like 40, 50, 60, but they've kind of not really often had that guy that's made the big score. Yeah. And, and fair play to Ahmed, he did that. And Fruki, same thing. They've not got a full-strength team out. That seems to be a real problem. No, obviously no Safi, but no Robbie Wright either, who I don't think's been playing the last couple of weeks. I know they'd said they had some injuries, so I still think that was a bit of an upset, but it's not looking great for Fruki for the remainder of the season if they're not even managing to turn Kinloch over. So without being too disrespectful.
So Strathmore were at home to Gordonians. Gordonians saw that one home. Strathmore were 205 for 8 from their 45. Gordonians chasing that down with a couple of overs left. That was a one we said could kind of go either way, but
to be honest, looking at the scores, it's absolutely the case, I reckon, that if TM Brits was playing for Strathmore, that's a different game, because it was the exact problem Strathmore kind of had prior to Brits coming in. Was They had guys that were a bit like what I was saying about Kinlaw. They had guys making 30, 40, 50 or whatever, but just lacking that guy. It's, Ajaz has stepped up to the plate, although he's got 2 tons and no 50s this year. So he's had a couple of big innings, but they just needed that bigger score. And Gordonians are a very good batting lineup and saw it home comfortably enough.
Yeah, and then big update.
Well, shall we touch on that one last?
Well, we save that one till last.
We'll save that one till the end.
Yeah, okay. So we'll go for the second 11 game between Arbroath and Forfarshire then. This one did go in Arbroath's favour. 176 for 8 for Forfarshire, played 178 for 3.
That was good for my predictions as well, that one.
Yeah. And then the last one, which you really couldn't get wrong. But I think it was closer than we probably expected it to be. Perth Ducat made 245 for 9. Dundee High School, in reply, made 165 for 9.
Must have been bowling filth for that to happen. Jesus.
Yeah, but it was.
It's good to see. It's good to see Rush playing for their ones again.
It is, isn't it?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good that.
He made 78. I think he's their highest scorer for their ones and twos this season.
I'm surprised he didn't drive over after the game, see what the twos were up to.
Can they sub him in? I suppose pick of the bowlers for Ducat, Ivor Patterson with 3 for 28.
And a very expensive Moose got 2 for 2.
2 for 2 off 2.
Yeah, good bit of tail.
No maidens though.
No maidens. Oh.
Yeah.
So the big upset.
Manifield, Aberdeenshire, made 187 for 9 against Huntly.
Yeah.
The inform side in the division. And yet Huntly, 189 for 6. Chased it down.
2 overs to spare.
Yeah.
It was just...
Never really looked in doubt either.
No, it's... I mean...
I think the additions of the 2 Kukanitz boys, who are their overseas players, I believe they're twin brothers. If one of them doesn't perform, the other one does. It seems to be at least one of them is putting in a big performance.
So on top of Austin Powers, we can now say that Huntly also love twins, because they perform.
Something like that, yeah.
You never watched that? Never mind. Joke lost on you.
Vague recollections, yeah.
Oh, well, come on.
Right.
Get your pop culture in order, mate. And
Jack Mitchell, 52 at the top of the order as well.
Since he, I don't actually have the stats on this. I think I'd said this possibly not on air, but I'm sure Jack was batting sort of 3-4, and it seems to. And I could have plucked this out in here, but it seems to be since he started opening up. I'm just having a look here. No, he's not actually done better since he's opened up, so I'm going to sharp. But
so that's a good performance opening up.
He has been. I mean, he's found form. He's got his 80, 49, 27, and 52. Has been his last 4 performances. He's found form as well. So yeah, the Kukanitz brothers have done very well, but also they aren't just them.
Yeah.
And Hussein took put them on the back foot. Aberdeenshire took the top 2 wickets. Big wicket and Kenny Reid. I think he was narrowly missed out on our team of the week last week. I think he took 4 for 40. So,
Yeah. They do have several guys who are capable of putting in a really strong performance for them. And yeah, I wouldn't fancy playing Huntly at the moment. They've been, I think, is that 8 wins on the bounce now? Maybe even 9?
I think it's 8. 8, I think, yeah. So they're in terrific form. And yeah, I know they were on good form, but and maybe that was wrong that I didn't see that being likely. That's
just about to put the NEC
wrong,
table
but
up.
I'm just going to quickly go and fix that. So if you fill that, if I just
chat,
talk about something,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that result does have massive implications in the title race, which we will show you in a second when Callum has got the graphic corrected, because it isn't up to date.
It was Raoul C. He hacked into my system and swapped it around. Up to all sorts of mischief.
Yeah. So here is the NEC table, and Meagle are now back on top for the first time since Aberdeenshire won that crucial game, a month or so ago. And Aberdeenshire have not just dropped to second, actually, but they've dropped to second equal, as Huntly joined them with an identical record. They've both got 9 wins from 11 and have picked up the same volume of bonus points in their defeats. So they both are on 241 points from 11 games.
I'm assuming there must be a net run rate. I know that it really matters because second place doesn't get to do anything if Meagle win anyway. But
yes, I think it does go to net run rate.
So there must be, but it's not on the calculator.
Yeah. So that's the news at the top. Meagle now, I would say, firm favourites for the title again. It would take an upset victory to get Aberdeenshire or Huntly back into it.
Yeah, I would suggest so. I was going to say I'm not 100% sure who Meagle have got left, but I mean, although to be fair, I didn't necessarily see Aberdeenshire slipping up, but it's who can.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're not ruling it out that Meagle could slip up at some point, but given, unless something drastic happens, I'm going to be picking Meagle in all the predictions from here on in.
I mean, to be fair, I think pretty much we have picked Meagle every week anyway. So, I suppose you look at it, they've got, I mean, the last 2 games are Arbroath and Dundee High School, so they should be fine with that. You've got Ducat as the third last game. Which Ducat on their day, they've got players capable. They've
beaten them twice in 2020
format.
Yeah.
And Forfarshire, who did over Aberdeenshire, is the next game. But I think that was a Forfarshire with Christian Robertson. Did he score a ton in that game?
Was it a ton or was it an 8? It might have been a ton, yeah.
Who he seems to have disappeared kind of off the radar again. But they've got guys capable, but you still have to have them as firm favourites.
Yeah. And then if we look further down the table, kind of no change in the bottom half. Fruki are not far off the danger zone still, but they would rely, I think when they've got Safi back, they will pick up results here and there. I can't see them actually being in danger, but they are a lot closer than they would ever have wanted to be. We saw that this is a 3-horse race for the title, and they're nowhere near it. Perth Ducat have climbed a place above Strathmore, but other than that, it's all as you were.
Yeah, it's bunching in that sort of potentially risky bottom chunk of the table. It's all, you've got Arbroath on 52.4 and up to 7th, 56.8% for Forfarshire 2s.
Yeah.
Looking likely Arbroath 1s go down, so Arbroath 2s go down, and Falkland, but would probably come up.
Yep, they're sitting top of Div 1 again after a victory over Largo at the weekend. Put them back on top of Div 1, so they look in a very strong place for coming up.
I think Perth Ducat 2s are probably likely to finish second, I think, off the top of my head. It must have been because it was first v third the last game.
But was it not that...
Or was it Largo that were top?
I think Largo were top.
Ah, okay. So
no, they can't have... Because they lost to Dundee High recently.
It's Ducat that are sitting second, so that's your current top 2.
Yeah.
Probably take a bit for Largo to get back into it at this stage. I mean, obviously Ducat are going to lose on Saturday.
Fighting talk.
So the likelihood is it will probably just be Stonywood Dice and Dundee High School will go down. But although because they're reducing the number of teams.
Yeah. So Stonywood, Dundee High and Arbroath will all go down. Kinloch.
No, I think ninth will probably go down.
So the bottom 3 will come down.
Well, because...
No, the bottom 3 will come down and Falkland will come up, and 9th will only go down if the winner of the league fail to get promoted.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We should really prep these things. But
It is right.
If it's dropping to 10,
Yeah.
you're instantly getting rid of 11.
11, 12 and 10.
Yeah, but Arbroath go down, but are replaced by Arbroath. So then for Falkland to come in, they have to replace 9.
But no, because you're not accounting
I'm
for
confused.
losing the top one. So if you just look at it completely separate. right?
That's it, right. I mean, again,
So-
it's 20 to 11, so I'm going to excuse
the
myself.
winner of the league
No. It's,
replace.
yeah, I'm just being thick.
Yeah. I think, from what I understand of the ESCA Championship, I would expect our league winners to be promoted.
I'd expect so, but you I suppose you never know on the day. But
But if that doesn't happen, then yes,
But
ninth place will be looking
if
at being relegated.
you're still not going to want to be in 9th place because you're then
absolutely.
relying on Meagle, Aberdeenshire, Huntly, one of those 3 beating somebody else for you to survive. So there is still a lot to play for in that bottom group.
Absolutely,
and it is tight in there. So
and actually, I mean, Fruki, even Forfarshire 2s, as you said, are all within striking distance of 9th and 10th spot.
Yeah.
Right, now it's time for something that we forgot to do last week, because that was really good of us.
I'd slag off your directing skills last week that you missed that, but given that we've had to edit this next graphic 3 times and you're going to have to stitch all this stuff together.
Yeah, I've got a great post-production for this episode.
It's gone really well.
Anyway, Team of the Week time.
Team of the Week!
I preferred your attempt in the last edit, I have to say.
Well, whatever. I'm gonna for the rest of the season, I'm gonna come up with different jingles for Team of the Week.
Do it. Absolutely.
The people will love it.
The people will love it.
The cats won't, but the people will love it.
Yeah, right, okay. So let's have a look at Team of the Week.
Team of the Week.
So reclaiming his number 1 spot in our Team of the Week is Craig Wallace with his 109 not out of 50 balls against Arbroath.
Smashed.
2, Majid Rashid for Meagle with that monster performance that we've already spoken about on Saturday, and then contributions in the 3 Counties Cup on Sunday, which we've not spoken about.
No.
But
Because we forgot.
Because we forgot. But we'll do that kind of as we
We'll
talk
do
through
that.
this.
Aye, well, we'd have to touch on the results for the predictions.
Exactly,
So we'll
yeah.
do that.
So Meagle were victorious in their semi-final against Strathmore, but then lost out in the final to Perth Ducat. As Ducat were crowned 3 Counties Cup
Spoiler
champions. At 3 in our Team of the Week, Nicholas Kukonitz of Huntly, 71 not out and 2 for 47.
That one was easy. I just had to change the first name and the score. But that was all right.
You managed that. Yeah. So number 3 is just now which Kukonitz brother we're going to select.
Absolutely. I mean, he did open, but I felt like he was the third of best opening performance.
I
so
would
remember
agree,
that.
given that the other 2 got tons.
Yeah.
Harsha Kure of Falkland, number 4. He's had a few performances in the Team of the Week recently.
Yeah, I had him at 5, but he was at 4 last week, so I just couldn't be bothered changing it.
So he was 61 not out from 76 against Grange. Usman Saeed of Perth Ducat, 95 against Dundee High School on Saturday. 35 off 27 and 3 for 18 off 4 overs against Meagle in the 3 Counties Cup final. He might have performed in the 3 Counties
Who
Cup
knows?
semi-final as well, but given there's no scorecard up there and I've been met by a wall of silence and trying to get it, we'll never know.
And it's only Wednesday night. And it
Indeed.
happened on Sunday.
It's still not there.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
So maybe Usman, had an even better week than we thought.
He might have
who
even
knows?
been in contention of Player of the Week, but
Well, I think
we'll
he
never
was
know.
in contention for Player of the Week, but we never know. So,
Yeah.
spoiler, it's not Usman that's Player of the Week.
Shazad Ahmed for that 103 not out, that match-winning 103 not out
Top knot.
from 74 against Fruki is a superb innings there. Solomon Lessalong of Arbroath's second 11, 42 not out and 2 for 30 off 9. There were a few performances that we considered for this number 7
'cause,
spot,
it was
wasn't there?
the O'Mara, his teammate.
Yeah.
He had a 60 odd not out. It was their partnership that saw them over the line, but we kind of felt like he had the wickets.
Yeah.
Lyle Robertson at Falkland.
Yeah, he had a 3 for as well that
yeah,
we'd consider.
a very
so.
sort of economical 3 for. So
Yeah.
Dupree's Stander at Stonywood with a 4th, and there was a few 60s, 70s, but we felt, I think, he probably contributed the most to a victory. I think
Yeah.
is kind of what got him in there.
Yep. Charles Castle of Falkland. It's actually, I think it's been a little while since he was in this, isn't it?
He has had a good few. He had a lot at the start of the season,
Yeah.
but I think he has had one a few weeks back.
But yeah, 5 for 33 off 9 and 27 from 45 deliveries in that huge victory against Grange. Jack Hogarth, another regular in the team of the week, 5 for 59 off 7.5 against Arbroath. And then Craig Ross of Arbroath's second 11, 2 for 7 off 8 overs, including 5 maidens against Forfarshire 2's Toit.
Well, yeah, and looking at it, I mean, he also opened. I mean, his 2 wickets were kind of lower middle order players, but he opened the bowling. So I mean, against in theory the better batsman, it just
gave nothing away. Gave absolutely
Toit
nothing
as
away.
Toit can be. So.
And then in the last spot, Ivor Patterson of Perth Ducat, 3 for 28 off 9 against Dundee High.
I've still got the graphic
wrong. Yeah, you have, haven't you? Against Dundee High on Saturday. And then 3 for 15 from 2 overs against Meagle in the final of the Three Counties Cup. Couple of pivotal wickets that he picked up as well, really to...
A dodgy LBW, if you ask me. But
I'm not convinced by it, but the finger went up, and so he's on the team of the week.
It's in the book, as
It's
they say.
in the book.
Player of the week.
Player of the week, yeah.
Player of the week.
We had a few different considerations for this one, didn't we? Usman. Who else did we consider?
Kukanitz.
Yes,
as well.
Kukanitz was the other.
And there was some Wallace and Ahmed as well for big batting performances.
Yeah, indeed.
There's a lot of good big performances this week, to be fair.
Indeed, yeah. But 115 and 3 for 12 on Saturday, and then 49 and 3 for 23 in the T20 on Sunday. Majid Rashid is this week's Player of the Week.
Well deserved. He did everything he could to try and win that final.
He certainly did. Anyway, we've spoken about all of the SPCU action from this weekend.
Yep. There was some other action going on last week.
There was. Scotland played 2 2020 internationals and a one-day international against New Zealand at the Grange.
Yes.
Defeated in all 3 games, unfortunately. Absolutely no shame in being defeated consistently by New Zealand. They are a good side.
Yes. No, I think... and to be honest, for a long time have been a very good white ball side in particular. Yeah. So yeah, and actually, even though it was 3 losses, we didn't get turned over in any of the... we were never really in it, but I think you look at Scotland in years gone by, and Scotland would have, they conceded over 200 in the 2 T20s in the first innings, which I do. I know Grange is a high scoring ground, but I still think it was a bit disappointing, particularly the 250 in the second game. But, Scotland would kind of in days gone by just capitulated and it would have been bowled it for 60 or whatever. So at least...
Yeah, I mean, particularly in the second one, we lost a lot of early wickets, but I think the batters went out there with the right mindset. They went out there to actually try and have a go at chasing the total down.
Yeah.
And lost their wickets. I can absolutely accept that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they were playing superior opposition. The likelihood is that it's probably not going to come off, but you've got to at least go and try. So it was really good to see them actually go and do that.
Yes, I would agree. You've got to try, and that seems to be the new mentality. It's like, we have to try and beat whoever we play against. And you saw that again, obviously the famous victory against England, and that came out, or came off rather, but it's...
Yeah, I mean, even the victory against Bangladesh in the World Cup last year, we were in a sticky situation there, but they kept going, and they had that partnership, and Greaves played a great innings, and it's the same thing. There is that resilience through the order. Yeah,
I think probably the one thing that slightly confused me a bit was the seam bowling selection in the T20 games.
Yeah, who played? What Seamers played on the one there? Sol played the one there as well, didn't he?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but
I have issue, I think, with the seam selections in all 3 games.
I need to double check who played. Yeah, well, no, so do I.
So for me, Safi Sharif and Gavin Main should have played all 3 games as the frontline seamers. They are the 2 leading seamers in the Scotland squad at the moment.
Yeah.
They should have played all 3 games.
Yeah, I don't understand. There seems to be this sort of Chris Soul. He's quick, okay, fine, but let's not get carried away by that.
Yeah, I think Chris Soul is a solid associate seam bowler.
Yeah,
he's performed well against other associate nations. I don't think he's got enough when you step up a level. I can almost sympathise. I mean, he had a good bowling performance. He missed the recent home series, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was in the US. He had a good bowling performance. So I can sympathise why he has got a shot. What I can't understand is why Ali Evans was anywhere near the side.
No, I mean, I have to be honest, I kind of thought we'd maybe seen the last of Ali Evans in a Scotland shirt. But it's particularly, I mean, Gavin Main has just showed how good he is.
Yeah.
And bowls quick as, he bowls at a good pace compared to perhaps some of the more recent Scotland seamers. And I just... My concern was it felt a little bit like, oh, New Zealand are in town, we better give everyone a shot.
Yeah.
And I just don't like, we talked about how they came out and tried to win. And yeah, the players did that who came out. And, I'm not trying to fault Sol or Evans. They'll have given it their all.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And,
I'm not saying that they didn't try or anything. But I'd be interested to know the logic behind thinking that was what was going to win against New Zealand. Bowling attacks. Bowling attacks, because it's... And, yeah, I don't understand it. And got to be ruthless. It's you're not here to make friends with all the players. I'm not saying there's obviously been Cricket Scotland and how they've treated people, which seems to be growing arms and legs now as well. Not saying you have to treat people badly or unkindly or anything like that, but you've got to be ruthless. Sport is ruthless.
Yeah.
If you're not good enough, if someone's better or can do a better job, you at the end of the day, Shane Burger's earning a lot of money as the Cricket Scotland head coach, and that's what he's getting paid that for, is to make tough calls, as well as try and improve the players, but he has to make the tough calls, and I just think that the selections feel a little bit friendly and cop-out-ish.
As I said, I'm of the opinion that Safi and Gavin Main should have played all 3 games unless there was some sort of injury thing that we weren't made aware of, but...
Yeah, they weren't. It's not like they were like back-to-back days, all the games. You would have understood that.
Yeah, it was 3 games over the course of a week. These guys should be capable of playing that.
Well, especially when it's 4 overs on 2 of the games.
Exactly.
But I think overall didn't disgrace itself. I think the fact that we scored 300 against a full nation, a very good full nation.
Yeah, a really really good innings from Michael Leask in the one-day game, which I believe is his high score in one-day internationals.
It wouldn't surprise me because
I'm fairly certain it is.
Tends to blast a quick 50 or whatever.
Yeah, and I want to say he hadn't got beyond 60. Maybe had one, but I'm fairly confident in saying this was his high score. So yeah, that was really good to see. And actually him bowling again, because he hasn't done a lot of that for Scotland recently.
Yeah, which again, that seems to be fairly odd because he was doing very well with the ball. Spin bowling department in Scotland is a hard, there's 4 of them that are very good and they all offer you different things. But given what Leask offers you with the bat as well, I just don't understand. Are we picking too many, are we actually picking too many spinners?
Well, I mean... You're picking 2 frontline spinners, and if you're picking 2 frontline spinners, then I think it makes sense that Watt and Hamza are those 2 frontline spinners. I think Greaves and Leask are now both in a position where they justify their place in the squad as bats, or even in the team as
Yeah.
bats. And so what they bring with the ball can be viewed a bit as a luxury. But I still think that Leask has been underused recently.
No, I mean, he seemed to have been going along well, and it just seems to have been like, I want a bowling, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one that turns it the way he does. The rest of them all turn it the same way.
Although very different.
Yeah, they're all different bowlers,
Yeah.
but they do all turn it in the same direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I think there's still positives that can be taken, even though, you know, we have brought a few negatives to the table. I don't think we should be ashamed of ourselves.
Oh, absolutely,
in what happens.
absolutely. Yeah, I think they kind of held up okay. And then news afterwards that Mark Watt's back with Derbyshire for the next chunk of the season, so he'll play the Royal London One Day Cup, and then he's available for one county championship fixture as well.
Which is really, obviously the 100 is partly freeing that up, and I'm sure Mark Watt might be one of these players that maybe would have fancied whether he has a chance at one of the lower contracts for something like the 100, but maybe needs to get into a couple of the other competitions
Yeah, I think
first.
so.
But excellent exposure for him in the Royal London Cup. I suppose is a good thing with the 100 being on, is there are guys getting exposure, even though
yeah,
a lot of the
definitely.
Twitter sphere.
Albeit
Like
he played the first game and they got absolutely horsed and he got out for nothing and didn't bowl.
I bet he's playing for Derbyshire, so I mean he's still got that problem. So,
yeah. Anyway, let's move on to
I think we should just call the episode. Just call the episode now. Have I got something else wrong?
No, I was just trying to work out where other things were. That's fine. Right, last week's predictions on...
I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes this week. So.
Yeah, on the NEC. We'll bring them up. We both got one wrong. You then got another two wrong. Yeah, good week for me so far.
Well, it's rubbish.
Yeah, it's nice. We're getting back in the game here. So, yeah, we both got Meagle correct. We both got Gordonians correct, and we both got Perth Ducat to win correct. We both were wrong on the Aberdeenshire Huntly game, and then the two that we split, I went for Kinloch to beat Fruki, and I went for Arbroath's 2s to beat Forfashire's 2s, and I was correct on both accounts.
Other soft drinks are available for those watching on YouTube.
I mean, the graphics up, so they didn't see that.
Oh, they
so you
didn't
didn't
see
need
it.
to draw attention
well.
to the fact that I was
I'm
drinking
just
that.
drinking beer. It's fine.
Yeah.
I get confused. It's because we're still on the other part of the screen. I'm old and it's late.
Yeah.
Can't deal with this. Yeah, rubbish.
Yeah.
So that's all that needs to be said about that. And this gets even worse, so we'll just turn that off.
So yeah, 3 Counties Cup finals predictions. We both said that Meagle would beat Strathmore, and we both got that right. And then we went different on Ducat and Gordonians.
Don't know how close I came, but
who knows? Who knows?
I mean, we only know that was the result because they were in the final.
I know. I know.
I mean, what if Gordonians just didn't turn up? I mean, I suppose technically the victory was still awarded to them, but who knows?
That didn't happen because there were some score updates on Twitter, I think.
Oh, right, okay.
But, yeah. So,
I was
yeah.
just clutching at straws.
You were. We did both say that Meagle would win, though, so...
I did point out last
You did
week
point
that
out
I don't
to
know
me.
why we were like back in Meagle when Ducat had already beat them, but...
Yeah, no, you are...
But I didn't go for it either, so...
You didn't.
You know.
You didn't.
But then
And
I didn't think Ducat would be in the final, so...
No.
And you did. So
Indeed.
you're an idiot. I'm still winning.
Squeaky bum time, though, Callum. You were over the hill a few weeks ago.
Didn't worry about it.
You were over the
Don't worry
horizon.
about it.
Couldn't see you.
I'll just keep doing what I've done this week and match your predictions, so it's fine.
2 points.
Don't worry
the
about
difference.
it. I'm not worried. Are you?
2 points the difference.
No, so you're getting cocky now, so you're going to be rubbish. So it's fine.
Right, let's see what we've got this week for predictions. I don't think I've even picked a joker yet, have I?
No, neither of us have, so
Nah,
it's okay. So this will be live on air.
We've all gone exactly the same.
We've
so
all gotten.
We've both gone.
Is there a third person involved?
We've both gone exactly the same. So we've both gone for Ducat to beat Arbroath, Meagle to beat Forfasshire, Fruki to beat Dundee High School, Gordonians to beat Stonywood Dice, Aberdeenshire to beat Kinloch, and Huntly to beat Strathmore. Callum, it's you up first with your joker.
Oh, well, I don't know. I just don't know what to think of the world anymore. I'm going to go with Meagle.
You're going to go with Meagle? Oh.
Aye. Even though I said it's a potential banana skin, but no, I
don't think they were even my second choice.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
It don't have to be your second choice.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've kind of gone with the theory of back whoever's playing Dundee High School, but it's freaky. And they've just let me down time after time.
I mean, I think I would still have gone for Fruki to beat Dundee High. Over
so is that who you're going for?
It's not. No, I'm going for Huntly to beat Strathmore.
Oh, see, I think that is the banana skin of the round, because Tian Brits made a return for Strathmore.
Yeah, possibly.
In the semi-final.
He did.
And he's quality.
Yeah, but so are Huntly.
Yeah, but Strathmore are a good team as well. But then when Tian Brits...
And it's also at Huntly.
I can't. Who wants to play that?
Back the home team. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. Huntly.
That's fine. I mean, I just could see that being a potential...
Yeah, I could see, because I mean, plenty teams have felt the effects of Tian Brits. But yeah, him coming back into the sort of one-day format and at Huntly.
I also fancy Liam Sweeney bowling at the Huntly would be... I don't think it'd be easy to get away. It's not easy to get away anywhere, but...
yeah, true.
But I've still backed Huntly, so I mean...
this is what we're going with. So yeah, you've gone the Meagle with the Joker, and I've gone with Huntly. So we'll see how that plays out.
I'll probably get them all wrong, but at least that means you will as well. No, knowing my luck recently, Meagle will choose to lose. No one else.
Yeah. That would be quite something. It would. Anyway, right. That's. I think that brings us to the end, doesn't it?
It does. I have no idea how long this episode is because it's in about 14 parts.
I know. I'm dreading my post-production efforts that are going to have to go in here, but we'll get there.
If you think that Andrew has cut this terribly, be sure to let us know in the comments below on YouTube. Tweet us at DibDobPod. You know,
like, share, and subscribe.
Yes,
tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Might be better next week.
Yeah.
Might not be. Who knows?
And what you could do is drop a link into your cricket club's group chats so that everyone starts to watch us. That'd be good.
Absolutely.
That'd be good. We should maybe do that to our cricket club as well.
I mean, there's a few folk with bat stickers.
They're a supportive bunch. They are a supportive bunch.
Good lads. I mean, we've no bother interviewing them, but that's all right.
Yeah. And we keep saying we will. We will.
I mean, it would help if there was power to our changing room. That would help.
Yeah, because we just do it there.
Aye. But hey ho.
There isn't, so we can't.
Do the usual on the socials. And that's that. Yeah.
And we'll speak to you next week. Hopefully with an interview. We've got something lined up, but we've said that before and it didn't happen. So
who knows?
We'll hopefully have an interview for you next week.
Yep. Bye everyone.
We'll speak to you then. Well, bye.